Well, we are here, folks. The inevitable has come upon us. Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic, head-to-head, squaring off in the final of Roland Garros. We knew it would happen. We thought it would happen. At the beginning of the tournament, we said there was 3 guys who can win this tournament. Nadal, Djokovic, and Thiem. And Thiem's out, and we got the other 2 left. And it makes sense. They're 2 of the GOATs, and Rafa's here to defend his crown. I think he's like the 4th time in a row. I don't know when the last time he lost it is. Anyways, all you gotta know is he's got 12 titles. Djokovic has 1. He's coming in here to meet him. Nadal's going for 20 majors overall. Djokovic is going for 18. So much history on the line, so much craziness to even get here. We're gonna talk about all of that on this episode of The Slice in the calm before the storm that's gonna take place on Sunday. I'm excited for it.
So I don't have many bagels.
Welcome to The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Okay, wow. We got so much to get into. Djokovic, Rafa, their 56th meeting. The head-to-head right now is 29 Djokovic, 26 Rafa. So much on the line. Before we get there, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for checking out our sponsors, helping us stay alive, keep bringing you the most fan-driven tennis journalism out there. Thank you for being here. On Patreon, so our front row show is the main way you can support us. We are going to have a special show for you guys tomorrow, Saturday, and then we're going to do a live watch party of the final on Sunday on Zoom. So if you're not part of Patreon, click the link below and consider giving $1, $2 a month to join us, help the show out, and get all the exclusive content on there. We're going to be ramping that up. But we're getting into the final here. But before we talk about the final, the big match, Rafa Nadal, Freudian slip there. Wish it was Federer and Nadal. Djokovic, Nadal in the final. We got to talk about how we got there. So Rafa, Schwartzman in the semifinal, the rematch of the debacle in Rome that Rafa fans would talk about. It kind of went the way we thought. We thought that Schwartzman kind of just got him when there was 2 sets, but on the Roland Garros clay where Philippe Chatrier, Rafa just, he can't really be touched. And I think that it showed because Schwartzman didn't capitalize on break points early that he had against Rafa today. And then Rafa got in the driver's seat and it just kind of showed like it was too much. Like we kind of knew that Rafa was too much for Schwartzman, but it just played out exactly how we kind of thought it was today. Schwartzman put up a good fight at the end there, bringing it to a tiebreaker, but the rightful person is into the final from the bottom half of the draw. For sure, Rafa's there. The big match today was Djokovic-Tsitsipas. And I had Djokovic on upset alert today. And at the beginning of this match, I was like, what's going on? Because we came into this, Stefanos Tsitsipas was looking real good. And then Djokovic was looking very good also. But he had that neck thing. He had that punch his arm thing, in the PCB match. So we weren't going to be sure of his level coming in. But then we come out, Djokovic playing pretty well. But the first game of the match, Stefanos goes up love 40. So he's got 3 break points. Doesn't convert on any of them. Gets another one, doesn't convert. And then as we go through the set, Djokovic plays at a pretty good level. And Stefanos really just isn't there. He seems almost like a bit nervous. So the first set goes 6-3. And then I think the next one's 6-2 after getting broken early. And then we're just like, Stefanos, you didn't show up today. And everyone's writing him off. I saw on Twitter, I was arguing with another YouTuber on Twitter. They're saying, mentally, there's just no comparison between these 2 guys. And I was like, you know what? I think I disagree. I think Stefanos does have mental capacity. That's something I've talked about his entire career as what separates him from a lot of these young guys. Yes, he's had some bad losses since, but that's called being a professional tennis player. All the GOATs have had horrible losses. But I didn't have much to stand that up on right then. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, match point down, Stefanos Tsitsipas. Djokovic misses a backhand up the line. He went for it, and then he got called on a time violation. And then Stefanos just came alive, and he just started playing the big points way better than Djokovic did, which was the opposite of what happened at the beginning. Djokovic broke like 4 to 5 times in the first 2 sets. Stefanos was 0 for 9, and then he broke back there, and then served out the match, or the third set, 7-5. And all of a sudden, he's on this break tear. All of a sudden, the biggest points in the match are getting played better by Stefanos than it is by Djokovic. And Djokovic was like, what is going on here? And then all of a sudden, it's even sets. And we're like, is Stefanos Tsitsipas about to come back from 2 sets down, match point down? it was not to be, obviously. Djokovic stepped up and he did what he had to do. He didn't get too frustrated. I think he was low on energy. He didn't really have enough energy to get super mad, or he just knew he had it in the bag the whole time. I don't know. But Stefanos ended up coming down with like a bit of a leg injury at the end of that fifth set, which is what he talked about. He stopped running for drop shots, which Djokovic, I think, did like 35. So anyways, that was a crazy match. Kudos to Stefanos for putting up the fight. But Djokovic is into the final now with Rafa to set up the most heavyweight battle we could possibly have in the sport right now. So, like, where do you even start in this rivalry? They've played 55 times, and this is their 56th meeting. And obviously, there's history on the line. Well, yeah, there's history on the line for both of them, obviously. 13th French Open for Nadal, a 20th Grand Slam to tie Federer's record, an 18th Grand Slam for Djokovic, having the career Grand Slam 2 times for Djokovic, the only person since Roy Emerson, the last person since Roy Emerson to do that. So there's lots on the line, obviously. But I think what everyone's wondering is, how is this matchup today, right, or on Sunday, going to go down? Because based on what we've seen in the tournament so far. So what I've seen with my eyes is that Nadal and Djokovic had pretty similar draws. I think Nadal had a tougher draw at the beginning, but then the way it opened up, Nadal has had the easiest route to a final. No disrespect to any of these players, but he's had the easiest route to a final, I think, of all time. I would love for you guys to help me out and find an easier route to the final. I'm talking about like seeded players. Just like seeded players. Literally, including Sinner, because Sinner until like a few months ago was playing some challengers. That draw that he had until the semifinals was like a challenger draw. It was crazy. So I'm not just dissing him. I'm not saying he wouldn't have made it through. He could have played anyone at the bottom and he would have made it here. The point is, I don't think he got pushed enough. But he did get pushed in certain ways by Sinner and Schwartzman. I'm going to get into those right now. So Sinner was hitting huge. I talked about it in our last video, and I said he did go cross court, his backhand to Nadal's forehand. He would run around it forehand to forehand, and he would crack it. Beckett Chung backs me up there. Huge Rafa fan. That's a weakness. When you can really drive into Nadal's forehand, he doesn't like to defend as much from that side, and he can drop it short, and then you can step in and make him pay. Sinner was doing that. Sinner was the best player in that first set for sure, and I don't even know how he lost it. That match should have gone 4 sets at least, in my opinion. But Rafa, being Rafa the king, just gets it done. He's like, I'm not playing good. I'm still going to get it done. Whatever. But the weakness there, I think, is deep, strong balls and him falling off the baseline and not being able to be aggressive. If he isn't aggressive against Djokovic, and if he isn't controlling the match, at least like for a good majority of it, I don't think it's going to go as well. And then versus Schwartzman, whenever Schwartzman would, hop up onto the baseline and just start pounding balls, Rafa doesn't seem to have that counter punch that he's had for most of his career, which makes players so wary to go to his forehand or his backhand. He doesn't seem to have that nasty counter punch or be moving as well right now. Obviously, he's not. He's getting older. This is like the same thing that, as a Fed fan, we watched our guy do. We've watched him just slow down and him become more vulnerable. We've seen that with Nadal for a couple years now, but he always rears his head at this tournament. But is he going to be able to do it again against a Djokovic who's hitting the ball very clean? He's had some weird ups and downs. Like, he obviously didn't really almost lose the match today, but he let the huge lead go from match point, had a bit of a choke, came back and got it done in the 5th set. But he looked a bit vulnerable there. But other than these little letdowns, he's hit the ball very cleanly. And I think he's been hitting a heavier ball than Nadal has. And I think that heavy ball in these conditions can hurt Nadal. So I think this match will basically come down to this is like when the GOATs play each other. It's like who can dictate with their game style more. That's like what everyone talks about. So if Djokovic can stay on the baseline closer, which he's been doing all tournament, and move Nadal around and just really rip balls, I think he's going to come away with the victory. If Nadal can somehow get Djokovic super uncomfortable and just get into the duel of pushing him deep, doing drop shots, and counterpunching with his forehand, anything can happen. Obviously, he's the clay GOAT. He is the king of Roland Garros. He can figure out how to get it done if he needs to. So predictions, I don't know. I think my heart is telling me Rafa. My head, my eyes, I think are telling me Djokovic. I think I'm leaning Djokovic here. It's very scary for Nadal fans, I think, because it's just Nadal hasn't looked very good this tournament. I don't know how else to put it. It's weird to say that when he hasn't lost a set, but it's like he has not looked insanely dangerous against a guy when it comes up to Djokovic, who's been obviously his biggest arch nemesis, his biggest rival, the guy who's won the most amount of matches against him. So the last time they played at the French, Joker won in 3 in 2015. I think I wasn't covering tennis then. I wasn't even really watching. I think Nadal was injured then. 2014 is the last time that Nadal beat Djokovic in a 5-set match. So that's something to also take into consideration. Djokovic is younger than Nadal. He might have more steam in the tank. But then again, Djokovic did just play a big 5-setter, pretty physical match with Tsitsipas today. So is that going to come into it? We don't know. So that's how I'm leaning. I'm leaning Djokovic, kind of hoping for Nadal. Because the big topic now, as everyone knows, I'm a Federer fan. That's right, I'm a Federer fan. I don't have to be an unbiased reporter. I'm a Federer fan reporting on tennis. Welcome to the slice. You can be a Djokovic fan, you can be a Nadal fan, but you just can't be like, why are you talking about Federer so much? It's like, well, he's my favorite guy. I'm not hiding it. Don't say I'm hiding it, because I'm not. Anyways, people want to know what Fed fans, who they're going to be cheering for on Sunday, because obviously Nadal could tie Fed's Grand Slam record, and then Djokovic could get closer. So I feel like most people, from what I've seen on tennis Twitter, which is like a whole new realm, it's not the greatest. Tennis Instagram's better. I think most Fed fans are leaning. They're cheering for Nadal. They want to see, if Nadal gets 20, they're happy. I think the amount of abuse that Djokovic fans have spewed at Federer fans, probably back and forth, but I think it's mostly coming from Djokovic fans. Calling him a weak era champ, etc. All this stuff. It just makes them not. They don't hate Nadal. They respect Nadal, and they hate that Nadal's beaten Federer so many times. But when you call someone who's won 20 Grand Slams a weak era champ, it just invalidates your opinion. It just makes people laugh at you. So I think that's what Federer fans do. They've all moved over to Rafa's camp, I think, and they're happy with him getting 20 if he deserves it. But I think I'm leaning Djokovic. That's just what I see with my eyes, the eye test. So Djokovic fans, I would love to hear your comments in the description. Gave you a little bit of sauce there. Let's see what you got to say. How do you feel about your boy? How do you feel about your boy almost giving up the 2-set lead today? Do you think he's got it in him for Rafa? Rafa fans, do you think he's got it in him for Djokovic? Is he going to find a level that he really hasn't had all tournament and show up with it against Djokovic and win? People are saying it's the biggest match of all time. Could be for the men. I disagree. I don't think so. Neither of these guys are going to make new history with this. That's super important. So, yeah, I don't think it is. But because people said this about the Australian Open 2017 final, that felt pretty crazy as far as the history books. But again, I'm on the Fed side, so I can't feel the gravity from other sides. So you guys let me know. Comment section below. Thanks for being here. It's so much fun watching these guys play. And we are blessed, as always, to be able to watch Djokovic and Nadal play again, because we'll probably never have guys like these again playing together. So it's amazing. Thanks for liking, subscribing. We'll see you in the comment section. And we'll see you on the Front Row Show. Jump down into the link below on Patreon. We'll see you there tomorrow, folks, and on Sunday.